without eating a mushroom?
It's getting really hard to hear you.
I'm gonna take the last bit of the alcohol that Violetta handed me, and I'm just gonna splash John in the face.
All right.
Oh, that get in your eyes? Oh.
John falls to his feet and starts crying.
Oh no.
Well, that. I think I preferred the dancing.
18 seconds. Is that how long it'll take before those hellhounds come?
I don't know, probably. They're very fast.
Right. They can smell me.
Time's ticking.
Okay, I'll wait 18 seconds before I go back to the ethereal plane.
Okay.
And I go to the astral plane.
Oh, man. Oh, there's jack shit this creature can do about that. Okay. Whoosh. You fade from reality, surrounded by the silver mists.
It's more about what we're going to accomplish. I think this is, it's beyond just me. I'll be okay.
It is beyond us.
Taps Mason's shoulder and, well, our last friend died, but I'll make sure you don't.
Our last two friends.
Oh, sorry, 2. Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
I'm
But you're
going
different.
to.
You're built different.
I'm going to take that as it was supposed to be comforting. So thank you, Garnet.
All right, so your armor's broken, you're exerted, you're in the middle of a pile of enemies. It is now your side's turn. How would everybody like to act? Mr. Sir Thomas automatically moves over to Zone 8.
I need to keep taming, or I'm
I'd
gonna
like to
die.
use my turn to give an encourage advantage to Lemon with some inspiring bardic words.
All right, I don't think that is how this works, but it's a time-honored
Bardic
tradition, so
inspiration.
yes, Bardic
What else
Inspiration.
can a fucking bard do?
Always Bardic Inspiration. It's always valid.
Tamer, you've got this. These wolves you'll dismiss. With treats and some kibble, you'll leave them remiss.
What?
You're gonna do great!
Freestyle.
Okay, everyone, just believe in yourself, okay? You need to be able to just stretch your bony little arms out and let go of Bolshaya. Richard Simmons, by the way, in case no one realizes what I'm doing. And I'm going to hit some persuasion.
Well, we're magic users. We don't need a fucking sword to go through planes. We just wish our way there. We're spellcasters.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of the magical I'm thinking of the stabby properties.
I don't have any stabby things, but
Yeah.
we could just blast them.
And my last stabby thing, I put in Mantra's mouth.
That. You know?
Good night, everybody.
How many?
Oh, the instant regret sentence.
The emotional roller coaster of this episode is breaking my brain.
I think I like panned up my map and I saw that Brock's Kirby was just engulfed.
Fire! Oh, God! Python rules do not be on fire!
I think you'll
Yeah, that fire,
Welcome everyone to Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy, episode 100 plus the funny number. I'm tormented by gnomes, and it is my dubious pleasure to be your game master. Joining me today, we've got Crowan, Leg Day, and Lemon Kiwi. Crowan, how's it going?
Hey, better now that I realized we're on the funny number. Hell yeah.
We are.
Well, 100 plus the funny number. But yeah, that's fun. I'm doing okay. Working a lot on a board game that I've been designing with some friends that I might talk about more in the near future because it's almost to like public playtest point. So
Hell yeah.
yippee.
Hey, you record a spot and we'll play it during the break.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get a Kickstarter trailer or something, we'll play it during the break.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it.
Legs, what's going on, buddy?
I was just thinking about how far we may have thought that we'd come at episode funny number. And now we're 100 plus funny number.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of Ioth Academy.
That's a lot of Ioth Academy. Level 8, by the way.
Level 8, by the way. But still somehow some of the most powerful PCs you've ever seen.
It's about the bonus perks and the items and the bullshit.
It's true. We level laterally, not vertically.
Mhm. That actually happens fairly often in my adventures. That one campaign I talk about, by the way, let me know if the music's too loud. I'm still experimenting with this crap. The one campaign I ran that ended up having 9 people, I was like, let's make everybody their own unique, powerful, magical item that scales as they grow. The power creep was ridiculous. Every episode had to be a boss fight. Like, there were no small battles. It was just like boss rush the entire time.
Gnomes campaigns and power creep?
Oh, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I'm a gritty, gloves off, roll for saves versus dehydration dungeon master.
Not a street level DM, I'm gonna say.
Yeah. We go cosmic here all the time. Levin, how are you?
I'm good. I had a play versus a little high school esports show. I ran
fun.
from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. So I had a little nap before D&D.
Yeah.
And I'm here, but I think it's gonna match the mood of the episode anyway. So
Yes.
I'm chilling. I got nuggets too, so
Oh, we got the nugs. Last time
shit. 6 pieces
we were
in
going
now.
last time we were going for full hold on. This is a little much right now. There we go. Last time we were going for like emotional big moments, stuff blowing up. I don't want this episode to be a lot of work, honestly. My cats were fighting all night. I feel like a corpse. I look like a corpse. So we're not going to make it too much of a big deal. Besides, there's a lot of catch up to do, honestly. All right. When last we left our heroes in the holy city of Brontha, on Garnet's birthday, the Feast of Glass, an avatar of Zalar appeared to the party, and with their help, revived the Archmage, Ika Elnau. Her new body is somewhat changed from before, tinted with the light of the sun and the power of the dawn. No, the dawn is a different thing. But she is alive somehow. There are a great many other things that happened on that day. Some of our party is suspicious of Spymaster Seer, Marshal Inaros told Garnet that Zalar had worked 3 miracles through her and only 1 through the prophet Kalor, who founded Brontha. Zalar manifested to Athalor as his mother and gave him a chance to say goodbye. And at midnight, beneath the Temple of Renewal, Athalor had a vision given to him when he implored the moon goddess Raelta to guide him. After midnight, there's nothing left to do except say any farewells you wish to say. And take Elnau home. Were all of you ready to do that?
Those of us who may have forgotten our important character development, what did Raelta show Athalor?
Oh, he had a vision. I don't remember exactly what it was that you asked.
Yeah, I think it was more just like a show me
father.
what to do. I think it might
Your
have been
father.
Dad.
Yeah, because Nivara told you that your father may not be redeemable, but he does feel regret. And regardless of his own redemption, his regret may help stop terrible harm from happening. You asked Realta to guide you with what to do. And I think she basically... she shared some of her sorrow over the state of the world and her I'm going to do what the hell I need to do anger. And told you that both can coexist. And you need to be ready to use both.
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to do here before departing?
Not I.
I don't think there was
Okay.
anybody like trying to ask me questions or anything about the miracle yet. I think that was what like the botanist was fielding those or whatever.
Botanist
Right.
and your mother were fielding those. You said if anyone has any questions, talk to Marison last time. So
Is anyone like, we want proof, or are they needing that or not?
I think Botanist told them all to shut the hell up. He used his
Okay.
lion roar. He says, Elnau can basically speak to us when she's ready. None of you have been through what she's been through just now. None of you know what that experience is like. We all have faith, and when she's prepared to speak before us and tell us of her experiences, she will do so.
Okay.
They're all kind of trying to body block for both of you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
Via teleportation circle, the party returns directly to the spire. Elnau is capable of walking. Again, she's not weak. She's more overstimulated. But she will still ask all of you to walk with her to go back to her office, to Ioth's office, the Archmage's office. She climbs back up the stairs. The wards and spells recognize her, even though she has changed. And as she stands in the statue of the companions in the sage, she takes in a deep breath, just sort of savoring life. And she says to all of you, I've seen things I don't understand yet.
Your journey beyond the mortal realm.
She nods.
Did you walk an endless beach?
Yes.
I did too when Garnet remade me. I walked an endless beach, saw mountains beyond scale at the edge of my vision.
Marble sand flowing off the edge. Yes. And a storm beyond anything that the sky prick could ever summon.
I think I met Realta there when she guided me back.
I heard you. She looks at Garnet and then at the rest of you. It was you guiding me back.
Not Zayla?
No. No, but I saw a thing. I think I didn't see his face or hear his voice. But I saw the pillars turning And I think I know what the Eye of the Paradox means. But nothing is going to happen to me tonight, or to any of you tonight.
What do you mean the Eye of the Paradox? You understand? What?
Is that a reference to something? An ancient scripture?
No. No, it's not ancient. It's new. We have to talk about the masks. But not yet. The Myrick. Tomorrow.
Straight back to business then.
I know you didn't. I'm so glad that I get to see all of you again, and that I can be here for you. But
We're glad that we get to see you too.
I'm here for a reason. And I have so much work I have to do. I can't waste this.
Yeah, okay, what should we do?
Go rest. Go rest. It's been I don't know how long of a day it's been. Just go rest.
Okay. Meet with you tomorrow then?
She nods.
Tomorrow then.
She will
All right.
place a hand on Athlor and Mason's shoulders. There's some strength in her slender hands and her long fingers. She clasps both of you, wordlessly but gratefully, and does the same for Garnet, but wraps her arms around her and holds her tight for a moment before waving you all off to bed.
She kind of just like is stiff and not knowing how to like react to the hug, and just slight smile before just heading off to bed.
Okay. Are all of you straight there? Is there anything else for the night?
Why don't you probably go seek out a conversation with Sventisco initially before bed. She came with, right? She was on that thing?
Yeah, she came with.
Okay, right. Yeah. I'm gonna go walk with her, I suppose, not saying much initially, but to her room. And once we get there, say, well, first, how are you feeling? Is there anything I can do?
I don't know how I'm feeling. Do you remember when we were all just kids?
Well, we are still, right?
No.
I know
yes,
what you mean.
But
yeah,
we were all
I
just
remember.
people from our own places, and now we're marked by gods and hated by monsters, and it's a lot. It's always so much.
Yeah. Could have never dreamed that things would get to this point, let alone whatever else lies before us. But speaking of what lays before us, I know you had wanted to leave the academy at some point still, right? Are you still wanting to do so? Go help out actively in the world?
I used to think that, but look what we do week after week. We're all over the world helping with the power of all this magic. I wanted to go because I thought that we weren't doing enough here and I could do more somewhere else, but right now that's not true.
You have faith in the academy then to help?
I have faith in El now. Maybe even Untermaler.
Yeah.
An institution can't be trusted. It's just a bunch of people. So either you trust the people or you don't. There's people here who I trust.
Right. I think after what we saw today, it'd be hard not to have some kind of faith in El now, at least. Perhaps out of necessity, but we didn't spend all of that time for nothing.
It's so strange that, people wearing that sign and those colors terrorized me when I was just a girl. And now all that,
Yeah.
it's so different. It's so completely different from what Marathon did.
We're making change. Or starting to, at least.
Yeah. I wonder how much change she wants to make.
Who?
But
Marisol?
Marathon, yeah.
Not sure.
You asked me 2 questions.
Which were?
How am I? Was there anything you could do for me?
Yes, right.
Well, and she grabs you and kisses you and pulls you inside.
Sounds good. We'll enthusiastically participate.
Was there anything else for the night?
If Garnet's gone to her room, like 15 minutes after they get back to their rooms, there'll be a knock on the.
She's like getting ready for bed and has her hair up and answers the door. Oh, what's up?
Hey there, America child. Mind if I have a minute?
Several. Lets you in.
Athalor comes in and kind of takes a big ass scroll tube off his back.
Jesus. Up to reading?
No, unfortunately, I'm sending you homework.
Oh. Thanks.
Happy
What is it?
birthday. It's the words and wisdom of Moses Tosaka.
What?
It's a record of his writings and his speeches, and it's for you.
Like hastily grabs it, like politely, but is kind of eager to open it and just starts reading it while still paying attention to you, but
I thought just politely standing back, like, this is what he wanted from his gift.
she just kind of realizes how long I imagine it's like pages and pages.
He did a lot of not religious debate, but sort of like rigorous discussion about theology, philosophy, the Bronthan rite, the Calorian rite of Zalar worship. And a lot of these were like, there's letters back and forth with different people, but then there's talks that he gave in front of the rest of the clergy. The man was smart. The man did a lot of thinking, and he was charismatic. He was a leader. So there's a huge body of work here.
How did you get this?
Gift from our mutual friend. He asked me what I wanted to get you for your birthday. And I thought that maybe he'd be uniquely positioned to have a record of everything your dad said. And since you didn't get to know your dad that much, maybe a little bit of posthumous getting to know, you know?
She's like sitting on her bed, still reading it all in shock and covering her mouth almost. It's some of just obviously how amazing all the writing is and all this wisdom that she has to digest. And Hathor, thank you. I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it's homework. Athol kind of kneels by your bed, goes to grab whatever free hand you have. did great today. You know? It's
Thanks.
it's tough. It's not fair. And it's much more than anyone our race should be doing. But I think huge power is in the right hands for the right reasons. And I'm sure your dad would agree. Happy reading, loser.
Squeezes your hand, and I just wish that things I did right didn't feel so wrong all the time. Brought her back, and it doesn't feel like a win, but this is gonna help a lot. She gestures to the scroll.
But it will heal with time. Or you'll feel a balance out when she does good. Happy reading. Nathora gets out and leaves her to pontificate.
Did you know that pontificate means poping?
Oh. I figured that he did some pontificating in that scroll.
Yeah, the pope is the pontiff, and so when somebody is pontificating, they're same root. But yes,
All
he
poked
did.
up.
All poked up. I'm poping.
I'm Cammy, I'm poping.
Caremy is crazy.
You can take a long rest unless you stay up all night reading.
I think I only need 2 to 4 hours, I think. So
All right,
whatever
if
the
you're taking
minimum.
your 2 to 4, then you can go ahead and take a long rest as well. The following day, the sunrise seems very familiar and different. A little sharper, a little clearer. And the death of the Archmage, I don't know if it was ever like officially announced. It's been a while and nobody's seen her, and Unchamaler took over, but I don't know if he ever made a formal announcement to everybody that the Archmage was dead. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember one.
No, I think
I
she
feel
was
like the
just
council and
ill.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like important people knew, but school
They
no.
didn't tell the student body, they didn't tell the rank and file. And with her return, there are rumors flying all over the school. It's a weekend. The day after, every holiday is a 3-day weekend. All the official Titan and Sovereign holidays. Unfortunately, the Dragon holidays are not, because they're on their own slightly different calendar. But it's a weekend, so nobody has classes. So there is plenty of time for people to gossip and talk about what's going on. Some say Elnau is having a midlife crisis, and so she got a makeover. Others are saying that she's unlocked some sort of strange power. 1 or 2 people say she's been replaced by a mirror clone, but are quickly like, we are locked in. Everybody gets scanned here, you idiot. Slap, slap, slap.
She's got jaundice.
Yeah, she's got... Yeah. So there's definitely an excited energy throughout the entire school.
Are there any known like Elnau haters amongst the students?
There certainly would be. There certainly would be. I can't think of any named students who would fall into that line.
Okay.
But there were definitely. I mean, it's school, right? It's teenagers. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
while Ioth was
Fair.
actively there, we were saying that he was dead.
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. Maybe that was another rumor. She was working on her own Book of Dawn. She went insane just like Ioth. But yeah, energy has changed significantly in a good way. Each of you is welcome to eat breakfast and then meet with Elnau afterwards as a group.
Woohoo! Breakfast.
Yay.
Dungeons and
Can I
Dragons.
get a con
more like-
saving throw from Mason against Hickeys?
You know what?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Con save. I'm down.
Oh,
Bro, bro is the most seen right now.
all hicked up.
Clocked that guy.
There might be several. Has a turtleneck on, but still they're poking out from the turtleneck.
Wait, let's see.
Do you not have
Perception check?
prestidigitation or something?
Oh,
I
shit.
don't.
It's a 6 and a 9.
Oh,
God,
it's so nice.
Funny number.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit,
Are you the hickey spotter?
Oh,
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
Lord is he's perceiving. He's perceiving.
I'm in tune. Our cycles have synced up.
All right. Sven is also at breakfast. Roll an insight check.
She got
All
the
of us?
glow.
She looks slightly smug.
Smug? Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't need to roll insight. You were there.
Oh yeah. You were there.
Just like, was I
maybe
good?
yeah, you don't know how they're always thinking like right afterwards, So maybe they're like
Didn't check in for a performance review.
yeah. Exactly.
So aside from any needling that may happen at breakfast, is there anything else that you would want to do before you head out?
There's one small thing. The portrait of Garnet that Seer was getting done, would that have been ready before we left, brother, or is he sending it?
He'll be sending it. Art takes
Sending
time.
it. Okay, gotcha.
Anything else?
That is all for me.
Okay. Having eaten, you catch magic carpet back up to the spire. At some point, you should get like a teleportation circle that just goes straight there, save you the flight. But it is not this day. When you get up into the office, she is trying on different outfits from Ioth's wardrobe, from his enchanted wardrobe that has all sorts of different clothes. So she's wearing, let's see, something that would be lots of gold, more gold than usual. She's not quite satisfied with it. When you enter, she'll drop all the defenses and have you come into the office and close the door, the innermost room of the office, and close the door behind you.
Is she wearing one of Eleanor's outfits right now?
Oh no, she's wearing one of Ioth's. It's very gold.
Shopping
It works for her,
power
but she
or
doesn't seem to like it.
symbolism?
More dawn gold, elvish, than Zalarian sun gold. And she's kind of fidgeting with it. Like it's not she's not there yet. She's still trying to figure shit out. Gestures for you to sit down. She has 3 chairs pulled up. She's got some tea, not culture, set there. Some
Unlucky.
some slices of chilled fruit. The grapes that they make sky wine out of that grow up there, they're like yay big, like the size of a grapefruit. And so she had a couple of those frozen and then sliced into like manageable sizes to be eaten.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, so all that is there for you. And she has her tea and she's just sort of idly like stirring it with a mage hand, not even touching it, just sort of like thinking for a moment.
Is this a new body, new me look, or my favorite cloak got disintegrated look?
That one.
Sorry.
My colors have changed now too, so I have to be careful what I pick. It's going to be a completely new. Anyways, Unchmaler and the Muintiori have been bringing me up to speed on everything that I missed while I was gone. So I don't need a full report. If there is anything that you want to tell me, things that have happened that you think I need to know specifically, or things that Untermaler doesn't know, I'm here.
Garnet hesitates for a moment and just ends up drinking tea instead. You know, like one of those, like I need my hands busy or I need
Mm,
to drink or eat something to not yap.
Mm-hmm.
That's that moment.
Okay.
In order to trade for information about the part of the ritual that brought you back, we did make a small deal with an exiled witch of the lands of Anarom. I'm hoping that with the help of the diviners, it won't be anything that's worth worrying about, but they wanted to know the location of some people who were kidnapped from a halfling village up in the north. Smaller probably covered it.
That's, I mean, it's not the northest of the north, but that's pretty north. Okay. I'll make sure that happens. What else?
Looks at Mason.
Firstly, what was on my mind was did anyone else know about like Liban visiting us when we were checking out the sealing runes?
We were the only ones there.
Oh, probably. When Scarlet looks at Mason, Mason will kind of account that. It's like, so the Sovereign of the Sea has visited us. Offered a way for.
Just popped in.
Just popped in, yeah. We were, for the efforts of getting you back, looking into some sealing runes that were in the area by the water.
In case we had to put your stole in like a stone, you know.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Something of the sort.
What kind of stone would you have used?
Oh, pebble.
Didn't get that far myself.
Don't know if that would work. Pebbles are lousy conductors and reservoirs most of the time. Also, a pebble? Really?
Kind of disrespectful after all.
Ring.
That's much nicer.
But yeah, they offered to passage potentially to Nenri for large groups of people, armies perhaps.
Oh, interesting. Right underneath them, right in the lake.
And Nenri's down on an army.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that. I heard that they had. Wintermuller said they didn't take much casualties, but they had to expend an outrageous amount of power of their magical reserves. So those will be lower right now. Okay, good. What else?
Is Garnet still looking at Mason after that?
I think I maybe would just send you a message about. I guess we're housing your dad, or I don't know if he's arrived. I think he's here, but
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, he's working with the artificers right now.
Mason replied, I assume she was filled in about that bit. But Mason kind of chimes up again. I don't remember how much you'd known of this whole mirror lineage thing that I'm dealing with. But I've started more research in that regard. Came up with a spell that allows me to, if I go in the mirror plane, no copy comes forth.
Oh, that's a neat little side project for a 6th year. small little neat trick.
Well, might be necessary, assuming that we can locate Conscare and get them into the plane of mirrors.
1, that was sarcasm, and 2 is going to be useful for a lot more than that.
Of course.
There she is.
Sorry,
the
what was
witch. The icon, Elnow's icon just appeared.
She made it.
I am now so immersed.
Previously, immersion was 0. Now 100.
Maximum over immersion. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell her specifically?
I thought, looks at Ghana. That's her decision.
I think, there's there's been a lot going on while you were gone. I'll just let you handle sort of getting things back in order since it's your first day back, and we'll take it one step at a time.
Okay.
You mentioned masks last night, Master Ona.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's your primary concern?
I think right now my primary concern is the well of psychic energy underneath Nenri, as well as the reports I'm getting about violence and chaos across the entire world. I also need new staff. And I never actually got a proper set of robes made. And I'm going to need every implement possible to direct the power of the academy. So masks, no, they're not the most immediate goal, objective.
Well, we made contact with some mask wielders.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just was able to use the book to put out some kind of signal or message to other mask wielders. We met with one in the tavern, so that was safe, and some other one through, I don't know, messages. And just because I was trying to recruit help for research and other things. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, other things. and
Very convincing other things.
And yeah, and such, thus, and conclusion. And I haven't reached back out, but yeah, what was it? And then out of character, it's the green mask, and I forgot the other mask.
Bone mask.
Bone
Drassica.
Yeah.
Bone mask, and what was the girl's name?
It was more specific than that, right? It was
Like
the
emerald mask, or fuck, I
Yeah,
forgot.
I'll
Find
look it up. Unless I wrote it down.
Malachite mask.
Yeah, I'll look it
Write it
up, but it was green. Maybe it was the green rune mask. I think it was the green rune mask.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I've written. Actually, yeah, green rune mask.
Perfect. Nailed it.
All right. Yeah, the green rune mask and the bone mask seemed nice.
The Order of a Bone Mask gave us a teleportation circle to their summer home.
Oh,
in the city of bones across the sea.
Oh. I've never gone into much detail about masks, I don't think. You've seen garnets, but I never made mine until the two of us worked together on that. Merrick was supposed to teach me at some point, so we figured it out on our own. It's a tool that amplifies the wielder's power, but also deepens their capacity for emptiness, for nothingness, for void. Each one is unique because each one is made by its wielder. I don't think you could take one and use it if it wasn't yours. I don't know how many there are, how many disciples Merrick had, or if they learned from somebody else. I mean, given who Merrick ended up being, he's had since the end of the dawn. But even then, I don't think that Orn was whispering with the void right off the gate. I think it must have taken some time. There must have been a turning point So, a few thousand years at most to have done this training, which is plenty of time. I don't know how many of them there are. I don't know how they're organized, if they're organized. I think they're deliberately kept separate and secret from each other so they can't betray other secrets. But Mirik was going to have me make mine when my training was done and I had a purpose. So each of them, if it worked the same way for them as it does for me, each of them has a purpose, an assignment. And that assignment must have something to do with Seosh, who doesn't work like the other gods, and therefore you can say his name and you're safe. And I think once we deal with the psychic well, we should find out more about who else is out there and what they're supposed to do. Just because Mirik's gone doesn't mean that his disciples will stop working on whatever it is they're working on.
So you think it would be safe to meet up with them outside of the tavern?
No. But
Okay.
it depends. I mean, not because they're homicidal maniacs. I don't know any of them. I mean, you and I, we have these masks. Maybe we're not supposed to, but it didn't turn us into psychopathic murderers
Oh,
immediately.
you're already psychopathic murderers.
Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. Much appreciated. So I don't know. It's not safe, but I think it has less to do with assuming their intentions and more to do with the fact that we killed Mirik, for starters. And whatever their goals are, those goals, whatever Mirik's designs were, originally involved you and me. Because his intended destiny for us, I think, was to join them. And now that we've gone off script, who knows what their orders are? Who knows how they'll treat us, what they'll do to me or to you. So it's not safe. It's almost worse, because at least if we met with the Destroyer or one of his disciples, we know what he wants to do. With these mask wielders, we don't. I think we need to figure it out, though.
If I remember from the conversation when you were looking into it, Garnet, the green rune mask person seemed to be, I don't know, startled about your response to why you killed Mirik. Kind of also indicated they might have been close. Mirik and this person.
I may have given her a sassy answer.
You?
Right? Was that the one I give it? Shut up. It's, I don't know. They're all
I believe it
so
was,
upset
yeah.
about. They're all so upset about Mirik, and maybe I was the only one he had his interesting methods, with. But like I just told her because I felt like I gave her some stupid answer. That's not how I felt.
Just
And
feel like the green rune mask might be less safe than the bone one.
Yeah, just because he's polite doesn't mean he's safe. Did you happen to mention casually offing a dragon god because he looked at us funny to the bone mask wielder? Did that topic happen to come up?
he just seemed, I don't know, like a stuck-up snob. He's just all rich and I don't know, just into relics and stuff, right?
Oh, not another one.
He wouldn't
Okay.
he wouldn't answer my questions, and I may have gotten kicked out of the tavern again.
I'm surprised he got in.
Oh, well, I may have been disguising myself as Mason's girlfriend to get in, and I just wanted to cause him a bit of pain to see if he was an illusion. because I had a feeling he was an illusion or something wasn't right. So I used just a bit of void on his hand just to get him to react, and somehow the bartender can tell everything that goes on all the time, and I got thrown out.
Extra-dimensional spaces and other worlds and Fae bullshit.
The name of the
I don't have
Bone
the
Mask
patience
Order
for
was
that.
in Drassicar.
Okay. Well, if he's not too heavily shrouded, that's a name we can scry.
Do we know how rigidly your void-wielding colleagues stick to hierarchies?
No. There's only one hierarchy I'm even aware of. Theosh, Mirik, everybody else.
And if Merrick's gone...
And Mirik's gone. I knew there were people out there who had this power, who had been taught about the void and wielded these masks, but how many there are, how they're organized, who's in charge, nothing. Not a single word.
That is a good point, though. I wonder how many of them have talked amongst themselves after Mirik died and perhaps established a new kind of plan.
It's possible.
Or order between them.
It's possible.
I mean, that's what I was hoping for, is to collaborate with others that felt the same way I did or had similar ambitions around void magic research, but I may be further ahead and have more to give than to learn from others.
Shocking.
Thanks.
The more ambitious among them may well have decided to forge their own path when Mirik was no longer directly overseeing the will of the Void God or whatever its fucking name is.
I guess we don't know the relation between Mirik and the rest of them, if it was like positive, if it was willing or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happy to be free of that.
What if Seosh had some other person directly beneath him? I mean, they're probably not another dragon god, but there could be an entire different branch separate from Mirik for all we know. This is operational security that they have in place, making sure that nobody has information they can leak about the rest of them.
Like
This
they
was
were asked an
deliberate.
Athalor question here.
Mm-hmm.
We are, as a trio, aware that Anachronus is a mask wielder, right?
Yes.
But there is a hex in place that we can't say it?
Correct.
Oh, true, yeah.
Did that survive Athalor being remade?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn.
So DM
It is
saying
attached.
fuck you.
It is attached to the Athalor pattern rather than the Athalor
Gotcha.
body. And as long as that Athalor pattern continues to exist, it also is locked on that information specifically. So there's multiple layers in play here.
Okay. So there's no alluding to it.
Depending on how clever you are. Basically, if it starts being useful, I'll say that's too clever. That's not clever enough. And
Okay, fair enough. It's too confusing for like this little brain.
Oh, there's all this speculating we can do, but I suppose information directly from one of them might prove the most useful.
and he gave you his home address apparently. So
That he
And a
does.
key.
maybe we pop in for a visit at some point.
Seemed keen on tea.
I'm
If
sure you
anything
wouldn't
else-
mind a +1, right?
Actually, another void wielder.
Yeah. Plus, none of you are adults yet, so it makes
Maybe
perfect
be-
sense to have a chaperone, right?
Maybe
Well,
he'd be threatened by it, but I'm not sure.
Just think
Good.
You should. I just think you should rest, and we should just not go. I have research here, and I just don't want to do any excursions right now. I just don't. And obviously, she's alluding to the fact she doesn't want to bring Elle now.
I mean, there is a lot to catch up on here, of course. We could postpone this.
it's good to talk about it now, but yeah, there's no rush. There's no rush. They've waited 1,600 years. I'm sure that we have more time. I have more time.
Either way, if Gelgeist does give you shit about the cycle, you should know that she was on board after convincing.
How'd you pull that off?
Just gestures to Garnet.
Causing
Stubborn.
enough problems that she felt she needed to help.
Yeah, can you imagine her being the only chaperone of ours?
It's just nice that she went with the help you strategy instead of the try to kill you strategy.
That was an option?
Lucky us.
Am I the only one who remembers like 2 years ago?
I wouldn't call that her trying.
That's too many events ago.
I give you shit out, Lord, but you're the only other person who can actually relate right now.
Oh, who knows? Maybe the other two will get unlucky soon.
Hope not.
Let's hope not, actually. Yeah,
Also, if you get a moment while the memory's still fresh, write down what you remember of that beach.
All right.
The consistency between our memories makes me think that it's a concrete realm or location rather than a psychic construct.
I don't remember reading anything anywhere about a marble sand beach with marble mountains like teeth rising from both the sky and the ground, larger than continents, and a storm and a bridge. I never read about any of that.
Given what you said about it feeling like Garnet was leading you previously when it felt like Rialto was leading me, I have my theories that maybe part of the ritual we were taking part in was almost like a pseudo-astral projection of Garnet's connection to you, to whatever this location is.
Maybe. Honestly, Athlor, I'm a little more concerned with all the mess there is to clean up than I am with my own experience. I'll write it down. I'll do that. I can do that much.
The ones who come after, not those of us who have already been.
Yeah, Garnet?
We may be requested to make an appearance at Brontha soon. We don't have to entertain anything. It would just, I don't know, help or would at least give people hope, I guess. I don't.
Oh yeah, you're miracle twins.
Wouldn't we be miracle twins, Athalor?
Triplets! Sorry, Mason.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's used to it. All right.
Yeah, I guess
mean,
you surprise the. Yeah, they're calling you the fourth miracle, bringing you back as the fourth miracle. I don't know.
so I'm what? Blessed Auntie?
Sure.
Blessed
Whatever you want to be
Aunt?
called. I just had to tell them, so I don't know. I just was worried this was going to be seen as some necromancy, and I mean, it technically wasn't. I don't
Was
know.
gonna be though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but it's just kind of funny. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they've spilled blood. Their own blood. On our behalf, on behalf of others. I can make a little visit.
Elnar being shown to our allies would also rally them a little bit more.
Yeah. As long as I don't have to do any prayers or anything. Like, that's just not... God. Gods, actually. Gods. It is so damn weird that the sky prick has put so much time and attention into trying to hurt us because me and this kid just helped bring me back.
You say the sky dude.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like tenses a bit.
Sky prick.
All right, let me get the let me get her insight check real quick. Just to notice that, frankly. Boop.
Holy!
Damn. Her first
She's
nat 20
locked
ever.
in.
Did you have trouble with the aforementioned sky prick? Did you have sky prick trouble while I was gone?
Well, they attacked us once, a couple times. Well, once
Smaller
while you
brief
were.
beyond that. Said you all did a good job.
Thanks, yeah. That's it. Mostly.
Oh.
Mostly it.
Okay. Anything else that I need to know right now?
Are we gonna have any more problems now that the staff is gone?
We're gonna have fewer problems now that I'm not gone.
Could the artificers just make another one?
The last one Ioth made himself. So, a new one is my chance to leave my legacy here at the Academy, and maybe to create something that will agree with me more.
I have some materials to offer for your robe and staff combo. In the ruins of my mother's workshop, the Castle Tenera forge, there were various rare materials that you might have problems procuring yourself on account of a sky prick. We have some ingots of sky steel.
Mm. It would be an honor to draw upon the Castle Tenera forge Afterlore. Thank you.
I'll make sure you get a hold of them.
Well, thank God it's the weekend to relax a bit.
Which one?
I'm still feeling Brozailar today. Ooh.
Roll it, why not?
It's okay, he's chill. He's chill.
You're not gonna get
15.
smoked.
Burst into flames.
Like, all right, that's
take
enough.
Take your Brozailar and shove it out the little...
You are overdrawn at the Bank of Sunrider. Smite! I inflict upon thee the overdraft fees of the gods. Okay. Go have a weekend. Have a day off. Go, I don't know, be kids for a bit. If you can.
Almost forgot how to do that.
You've given me more time. Go spend some of your own on yourselves.
And Garnet will head out.
Oh, and Garnet?
Turns around.
That promise we made each other? Just because I died doesn't mean I'm not going to keep it. No more secrets.
Yeah.
She lied.
What the fuck? Wait, how are you gonna deception check? Fuck you.
No. That was the dungeon master. That was not El now saying.
Oh, okay.
That was commentary. I should have done the out of character little hat real quick. Okay.
What was the promise again? I kind of blanked.
You were going to be totally honest with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah. We both lied to each other.
Yeah, that shit was fucking sailed.
Oh boy.
Okay. We now have up to and not limited to the rest of the entire month that we can roll by.
Holy.
So 2 weeks of project time with the possibility of other scenes mixed in. So before we move on to that, do any of you have any scenes that you want to pull the trigger on this very day specifically?
Well, that does depend on if Mason can actually write this down, but will attempt to, involving the anachronist thing. But tries to, when he goes back to his room, writes this down. Would he be able to?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But if somebody casts the legend lore or something to interpret it, that probably would get scrambled.
Oh, interesting.
Error 404, divination not found. That's weird.
I
Mostly because I just don't want to punish you for writing poetry.
You are the antithesis of a school bully.
At some point, probably maybe later that day, Mason will just like drop this note, in front of Eldow's office, and leave, and also show it to the party. And be like, I was able to write this. It's a bit cryptic, but
see if I can interpret it. Oh, okay, clocked. I want to be like, oh, cute.
Wow, what a spent. He's gonna think about you writing poetry for the head.
It's not so much the fact that like you're writing poetry for somebody else because you've had this conversation and you're both cool with it. It's more the fact that she's like 200 years old.
No, it's not
appropriate.
Yeah, not for that. Not for that.
She's taking advantage of you, Mason.
No, it's not like that.
All right. Poetry downloaded and poetry uploaded. The download status will indeterminate for the time being. Anything else?
I've got a artisanal bronze hand fan for Darina. Which was brought home, so she can receive that.
Oh, she's super happy with that. It's beautiful. She loves. Oh, hold on. This music is way too hardcore.
Darina, accept this hand fan, or you shall
Give it
suffer
Darth
the
Vader.
consequences.
It's like an anime where they do the whole power up sequence, and it's just the guy asking the girl out on a date or whatever. Yeah, no, she loves it. She loves getting things like this from across the world. She's super interested in other cultures, traditions, and art and stuff. So, plus it really brings out the color of her eyes.
Pog.
So she is super grateful, gives you a kiss on the cheek, and goes off to show Renobi.
Nice.
Okay. Time begins to march on at long last. And as it does, despite this sign of hope that you have brought forth into the world, dark omens of the Herald's presence remain. You continue to hear violence breaking out. There are riots, as Pevom warned you, as he was not present for your birthday. there have been sudden outbursts of violence between the Dune Riders and the Naramans who recently arrived. They went from being totally peaceful, welcoming, mutual hatred of the Raveners, mutual appreciation for Sirocco, and suddenly small disputes heat up fast, and tempers flare over stupid stuff. The Spring Elves of Kalulinde, who never get riled up about anything. There's talk of elves tearing down their own settlements and getting into archery, shooting at each other over small things. The Autumn Elves are similarly affected. An army of firewalkers rises in the dragon tribe of Canar not too far away. There are uprisings and disasters, and perhaps most concerningly, a few days later, 4 days later, you start to hear worrying rumors about sickness to the south. Travelers bringing goods to market from the lands of the Dune Riders talk of entire towns that are and camps that are under quarantine. Some sort of plague that affects the eyes. Ooh, scary music turned on just at the right time. Yeah, that's probably the most concerning thing that's popping up. But aside from that, it's just, like I said, these dark omens across the entire world.
Athel would seek out Untamola and ask if he was aware of the potential resurrection of that warlord who was supposed to get assassinated.
Yes, Igor. That has been brought to my attention. Thank you. I don't know
am I
where
being
he is
conspiratorial, thinking that this eye-based plague is not a coincidence?
yet. No. No, that's wise. And if he has indeed returned from beyond the grave, perhaps he brought this cursed plague with him. I will have the... I will speak to the Archmage and ensure that proper action is taken.
Medical outreach, research, vaccination?
All possible. We must start with knowledge. Without knowledge, there can be no understanding. Without understanding, there can be no conclusions. We give our Master Diviner so much work to do, but I fear this will be yet another.
Go ahead, Garnet.
Can I insight check? Is there an ounce of him that's bummed that Elnell's back and he's not in charge?
Go ahead and roll. 21.
Oh.
No, it's more like duty and responsibility is something that it's sort of become a knee-jerk for him. So his first reaction to anything is, this is my problem, I need to fix this, I'm in charge of fixing this, and he's like, wait, no, I'm not the only one who has to fix this. I need to talk to the Archmage. So he's not like upset that she's back. He's not like, damn it, my chance to rule is over. It's more just like his personality, you know?
Cool.
Our artificer should invest in additional eye protection, perhaps? Contact lens shielding?
Perhaps. It's too early to say. Perhaps this plague comes from within the body and travels to the eyes. Perhaps it enters through the eyes. Perhaps it's a magical curse entirely. Regardless, the apothecaries and the diviners shall be assigned to work on this. Both to protect ourselves and to help our friends.
Until we figure it out, do you intend on restricting travel to the Dune Riders?
contagion pattern does not make sense. It's not known if this spreads through the air, through the water. It seems to pop up at random across multiple different villages and settlements throughout their entire territory. So, until we know more about the infection vector, we shall simply have to be cautious. I would not want to cause the Dune Riders any harm by restricting their movement without knowing it will be beneficial.
Should I try to make contact with Tevom again? I had no idea this was going on.
This is new, Garnet. This is all new. I would assume that Tevom and his compatriots are involved in healing efforts. They wield divine power, they wield power over the body. They are likely already at work. You may reach out to him if you wish, I'm sure it would be helpful. Otherwise, I will ensure that we have eyes on the ground amongst the Dune Riders.
Understood.
By the will of the Archmage.
They're calling it the Weeping Plague. A few days later, that's what it's being called. You have 2 weeks of downtime. There are no other major events between now and the end of the month, unless you instigate some shit, which never happens with this crew. So,
never done.
How would you like to spend that time?
One thing Mason wants to do is bring Nexi to the Cold Iron Crucible and try to like persuade or goad them to like, I don't know, do some dragon stuff. See if anything happens. Bring a bunch of treats too.
Yeah, remember to get some. Remember to get some of her venom for Sia.
Oh, true. Right.
All right.
Maybe bring like some, I don't know, just like makeshift little like targets. Something that's like absorbent. Yeah, something that's like absorbent, can absorb some venom. You know, and try to get Nexi to like sting it.
So, like, what kind of dragon stuff are you trying to get Nexi to do? Remember that they can communicate telepathically with simple ideas, emotions, and images.
Right. Yeah, I guess like Mason would be very clear about his intentions. Just kind of wants to like, I don't know, further ally with Nexi in terms of like, I don't know, protecting each other, and wants to see kind of like what Nexi can do to that end.
Right. You have a very simple image of devouring a lot of food, a lot of really, really good food. And then, because you're so well fed and strong, you can easily fly up to anybody, sting them, and fly away before they can catch you.
Okay. Much food, much food. We'll go, you know, eventually attempt to acquire a lot of food, save up for big Nexi feast.
Perfect. That being said, it seems like Nexi's only magical abilities are resistance to magic and that limited form of telepathy.
Okay.
It's a pseudo dragon. She doesn't breathe fire or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Are we doing midnight lessons? Or is she holding off until she gets her shit together?
No, I think she'd be down to do midnight lessons again. She would actually ask you, though. She's not just gonna like show up. She would contact you. She has a new sending stone sent to you, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Still keeps the old one, but yeah.
And she'll ask if you want to start lessons tonight.
Yeah, and when she shows up to that, I guess our study room is a disaster. It's like, when you don't check on your kid for a week and their room turns like a bomb blew up in it. Yeah, there's like papers everywhere. Obviously hasn't been cleaned in a while. If there's chalkboard, there's still chalk all over it, and things pinned up on the wall because there's no room on the ground, because it's like one of those, all the papers are on the ground, then there's some pinned to the wall.
Still we're looking at.
What are the
A
main
lot of it has
projects?
to do with.
You were about to do that.
Yeah, we were on the same wavelength. So I think mostly about the sphere. I think that was the main research project these days, was the void box / sphere that we were, I guess I was working on.
Okay. She is clearly surprised, sort of shocked to see all this. She doesn't like scowl at you or yell or anything. She more just starts walking. When she sees everything, she walks in and goes, "Oh."
She's like a couple minutes late because she's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I have that now. I don't rearrange my whole schedule." And she just, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry." And she starts kind of just like, when you just like sweep with your arms on the floor and just put all the papers together and start trying to organize it.
Hold on a moment here. That's a big scope. That's a very large scope. I don't know if anyone's ever done something this big with the unpower.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna work out anyway, and we have other things to worry about. And she just keeps, now she's piling up all the papers. They're now just getting crunched, and it's not as cared for. It's not gonna work out anyway, and it's still a concern, but maybe there's other methods, and we have other things to worry about.
Okay. What do you want to worry about first?
Cleaning this room.
Okay, we'll start there. And she'll help you clean up the room. She's not like crumpling all your stuff together. She's like at least stacking it quickly. Not neat and tidy perfectly, but she is stacking things. She's trying not to destroy any of your stuff.
There'll be some notes about Lurkale and the ritual, if she actually cares to read them or if she's just picking them up.
She was taking an interest in your stuff. The ritual of absorption.
Yeah, I guess it'll probably be like a ritual about absorbing power to redirect it or use it as a source to fuel the ritual, or imposing void corruption on someone else by just absorbing their essence sort of stuff. But and then sort of the design of the box would be there, because then we would do it one step at a time, one wall at a time. And then I guess like as like the ritual with Lurkale knows, it kind of just stops and a lot of stuff is like scribbled out, and that's kind of where the notes end.
Okay. She is holding that piece of paper and frowning in concentration, not being upset.
No baby Vendur being talked about. Pregnant? Question mark? Pregonat? Pregante?
Babby formed.
but absorption, buy one get one free.
Baby no sex? How baby with no sex? I'm Virgin Mary.
The immaculate absorption. So yeah, she's holding it. She just says, "Did this go anywhere?" And without even thinking, she casts prestidigitation, which allows you to clean a surface to uncross things out.
I don't know. You can do that. Fuck, what would be there? Maybe something about like new voices sort of being heard, and sort of psychological changes, still studying side effects, and basically the post-traumatic disorder from it, I guess.
Okay. But these are written like research notes, not like, when you're
Yeah, not a
playing
diary.
Bioshock.
It's like very much
Yeah.
smarter sounding of like
It's not-
list of side effects. Here's the unknowns. Here's some hypothesis, further experimentations. But probably all of those get crossed out. And she's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this.
All right. Looks down at all of it and then looks up to you. Clearly worried. Before either of you can say anything, we go to a short break. Don't go anywhere, folks. More Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy when we return. Got him!
Got you.
But that's why we all woke up. So.
The dragon's fine.
Dragon. Okay, you talked to the dragon?
Oh yeah, that guy sucked. He just kept wanting us to say his name and open the big bad door, and oh, he's gonna destroy the world and kill anyone we ever want. But I won't. I can kill anybody I want. I don't know what some statue's gonna do, but and he doesn't even know his own name, Boomer much. But anyway, so like. But you've slain dragons before. If you can do it, and then.
These are the dragons of the world before.
Yeah, I'm not going to do better.
Perception. 22.
Oh,
all right. I'm going to go ahead and simulate what happens here real quick.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Ah, shiver me timbers!
Well, yeah.
Oh, shit. Alright, I think it's time to go check on Deadeye then, eh?
So that's great. I honestly don't get to talk that often. People don't really get to hear what I have to say. And let me tell you, I got a lot to say. I got wouldn't even believe. I see a no one even pays attention to me. I'm just up in the trees doing my own thing. Except for Hootie. Hootie! Holy that dude. He's got some that he wants to tell you. I'll tell you right now. Oh my gosh. That bird's got mouth on him. You think I'm like this? Oh my goodness. If looks could kill, that bird would be the most dangerous thing in this entire forest. My God.
Explain the bang, old man.
Well, you see, when a mommy and a daddy, or a mommy and a mommy, well, or a daddy, or when two people love each other very much.
I would like to be mind wiped.
There's Obliviax Moss available. Talk to the Court of Reverie about that. So everybody gets up and starts. We have reached 100% kiss boy density after they attack each other.
Small girls, just checking.
No, grown men can lift the sword, Garnet.
Well,
Would you like
I
to
could
try?
eat a soul. I could eat a soul like a snack.
But I'm more thinking practical terms about swinging this fucking massive sword.
Well, what if
And
it turns him
honestly,
evil?
I'm sorry, but
Evil
your
Chad?
arms are small and noodly.
Excuse Mantra, my arms are not noodly.
Matcha comes walking
Minus
back
2 strength.
from the meeting. He's like, what did I just walk in on?
Oh, Mantra isn't here. Oh, my God.
sword.
Yeah, you open the door. The sword is just like covered with evil runes on the floor on a plate, and you just see Garnet going.
My arms are noodly, right?
Do you
Right,
think
yo.
you lift that, Zweihander?
Yeah, you try it.
Your arms aren't noodly, but that thing is pretty big.
And evil.
And apparently evil. What is that?
Flip him. Okay, one black card. And that's a big success. That's a critical success. So
Court
this
card.
this is perfect. You already have an edge, right? So you can't
Yeah.
gain another edge, but you can double the effect, which means you can quiet both
They're both
wolves.
my friends. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
God, I almost fucking died. I never died in a one shot. My heart hurts, man.
This game, again, you start out from very humble origins. You're not mighty heroes. You're just townsfolk. It's
I've been
easy to
humble.
die.
We're coming from
humble.
stupid origins.
Okay.
So it's just this guy trying to be summoned.
He's trying to summon himself.
I will go have my shadows teabag the teleportation zone. Proceed to teabag.
I need you
in
to
an
roll,
effort to taunt.
I need you to roll a persuasion check to convince the Phoenix Knights not to immediately smite the hell beast that you're riding on.
The horse I'm on? Well, it's because I'm riding the horse. They need to be persuaded not to
Yeah,
dismount
because it's
me?
evil. It's a fiend. It's in league with the Infernals. It is an abomination that must be purged.
But it's just a baby.
A malevolent. It's not a baby. As it like as it paws at the crushed skulls of the devils.
Eats the corpse of its former rider.
The two Phoenix Knights sort of look at each other.
It's fine.
And they're going to steel themselves against the malevolent force attempting to rise.
Now this is a story all about how I got kicked out of the Golden Bough.
Welcome back after the break. When last we left our heroes, Garnet was down in the tombs of Tarselmore Hall, where Elle now just stumbled upon her Pepe Sylvia conspiracy board and partially revealed some notes that are give worrying insight into Garnet's state of mind. She's looking at it and looking up at you worriedly. Do you say or do anything, Garnet?
I don't even know what paper she's looking at unless she's like showing me.
No, she's
So I'm
not
just,
like showing you specifically.
So I just like kind of take the page and I'm like, this goes here. And I guess she's more frantically trying to get, so she kind of doesn't even notice what she's grabbing. So she's just, oh, that goes here and all of these go here. I mean, it's not important. It could just get out of our way for tonight. You have any questions about any of this?
Yes, I've been able to work with you for months now, and you've been doing a lot of research and experimentation in my absence. I'd like to know what you figured out without me, what you've learned. I don't want to jump back in the middle of something that is old hat for you now. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, this is sort of on hold, but we were, with the council's approval, I was looking into building sort of an outer sphere, more so a box, kind of building one wall at a time, using the ritual and trying to find a way to offset the costs, maybe get more people involved, use the high level magic to have some help with that. But I don't think we're in any immediate danger, at least us, and so this is not as pressing as it was before. I guess you became more of a pressing issue.
Well, I can stop pressing now, right?
Well, you survived 24 hours, so just whatever Zalar did has held you up for now.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you handle... I mean, you're marked by this god whose entire everything is about birth, life, death, and renewal. And here you and I are studying what's essentially anathema to that in void magic. How do you reconcile that?
Recently, I've felt even more devoted to void magic because it's all I knew, and when I'm good at something, it makes me feel good and makes me feel accomplished, and nothing at Brontha ever made me feel that way. So here I am just accidentally pursuing things that make me happy.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of how I fell in with Mirek in the first place. I had a natural gift for shadow magic, and he was able to translate that into something more. And it felt good to be good at it, even though he was harsh. It felt good to master it. It felt good because no one else was good at this. No one else was teaching this. And the ways it could hurt the people who hurt my family were just... Yeah, it's strange. You're the blessed child, and I'm the archmage, and I can't just chase things that make me happy anymore. Not where I am. Not with the responsibilities that I have. All the shit that Ioth fucked up. Because he was doing that. He would just close his eyes to everything except what made him happy. There's got to be a balance somewhere between the two. If I figure it out, I'll be sure to tell you. Maybe that can be our next lesson.
I think at any point in your life, you can walk away and it doesn't matter what title or responsibility you are, and you're just pursuing what makes you happy. So if you were to, this experience traumatized you enough, I wouldn't blame you for stepping down.
No. No, you didn't go through all this for me to just step down. I can't do that. I have to help. And unless there's some sort of graduation ceremony I don't know about, I'm stuck being the Archmage.
Well, I'll take over. Oh my god, my dog. I will take over when I'm old enough, maybe, and then I will relieve you of your duties that you hate so much.
No, I don't hate them. So what do you want to study now? You and I are both kind of doing this on our own. We don't have Merrick, we don't have Seosh, we don't have... I mean, you have the book, but aside from that, there's no one to teach us. We're figuring things out that if others have, they aren't sharing. What's most important?
I mean, it's nothing. I think it's more of a personal project, I guess, that I'd want to look into the, internal effects of Void, and I guess it's been affecting me weirdly, so that's something that no one can really help me with, and even though I wanted you back because the Academy needs you and I need you, I don't even know how you would be able to help with that. So I'm just trying to not mess around with some hardcore Void stuff until I sort of figure out all the costs and odds and ends.
You know, more of me came back than died.
What do you mean?
I mean, there were holes in who I am. Places where I was missing parts of me. I think that's a feeling you understand, right?
I mean, the Void corruption?
Yeah. Yeah. I came back without that.
It's good.
I'm just not sure if what filled up those holes is me or something else. You want to tell me about the effects you're feeling?
I mean, that's the thing is, through some research, I kind of feel like I got rid of the Void corruption, but like I feel more in tune with myself. I don't know how to explain that part really, but but something feels changed. I feel changed, but at least I'm understanding myself more. I don't know how to explain it, but it sounds stupid. I'm figuring it out. I think it's just a time and some air to breathe, and it'll just all come to me.
Well, the air down here is mid, but we have some time if you want to work on it.
You can just go back to the basics and maybe I don't know, study the void sphere stuff again. We haven't tried to make one in a while. I'm kind of like not thinking about this right now.
Okay. Let's just do the basics right now.
Okay.
She's going to let it go for the time being and just sort of go over the fundamentals again. All right. And for the rest of the month, if that's what you want to work on, that's what she's going to work on. She has something else to tell you, and she knows there's things you're not telling her. We don't have to do that immediately. We can catch up with everybody and give everyone a chance to spend their time. So, speaking of which, Crowan, how does Mason spend that time? To the end of the month of Sunrider.
Well, partially, Mason is going to take to, at the end of meal times, like lunch or dinner, breakfast too, go turn invisible and start stealing some like leftover food that no one's eating and putting it in the portable hole and just like amassing a bunch of non-perishable foods the next day for a feast.
Stealing leftovers, noted.
Yeah. Second thing is definitely an if you'll allow it type thing. So I've been cooking and writing more of these notes that maybe progressively get more and more, I guess, less and less ambiguous. There's a series of them. There's a lot of them, but I don't know how you want me to like feed them to you, whether it be all right now or.
Let's drip feed them. Give me another one.
Okay.
You can get around the DM's restrictions by charming him with poetry.
Weakness, English major.
Okay, this is the second note intended to be left for El now. Would this be one that Mason be able to write?
Yes.
Okay. You want another one?
How many do you have?
I have 6 in total. I've posted 2 so far.
All right. Let's parse them out every few minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Athlor, what's some of how you're spending your time over the next 2 weeks?
Athlor asks Chad if he can move their training to the causeways so that he can more closely observe like warden training in general, and not like overseeing it, but like seeing how they do their maneuvers and how they approach things tactically. Because I assume they're probably doing some like maybe clearing drilling for a potential Nenri siege, etc. So Athlor will be asking to move to the causeway for that.
Okay. That makes sense. That's absolutely a good idea. The wardens don't, most of them do not fight with greatswords. Standard weapons are like shields and flails, or enchanted flails or maces. There's a little bit of variation, but a lot of them are trained to fight together, and so they all kind of use the same gear. That being said, there are other people training. There's, first off, the fundamentals of combat and positioning. This probably goes without saying, but the wardens practice an extremely defensive style of combat. They're bodyguards. That's their whole thing. In war, yeah, they'll form a line and like go to fight, but their main job is to just refuse to budge so the war mages behind them can rain death upon whoever they're fighting. They protect others, they intervene on others' behalfs, they hold the line. So when you're studying from them, yeah, there's some clearing techniques and such, but a lot of it is in conjunction with other people. It's combined arms. You know, a warden opens the door, a mage throws a fireball in the door, then the wardens go in. Or a warden opens the door and pushes through, war mages follow them up. So it's a lot of combined arms with primary spellcasters or war mages who do their own weird thing. And a lot of this is your study with Untermaller's war class would absolutely be helpful here. Because you're kind of recognizing the large scale on the small scale. The principles of the large scale on the small scale. And as part of this conversation, I'm just going to send you a PDF real quick of the warden class.
Oh, excellent.
Not mandatory reading, but, you know, for future edification. Is there anything specific on that line of thinking that you want to do?
No, I thought just getting more familiar with their combat ethos. During one of like, assuming for like spars with Chad, Athel would like to pick his brain a little bit. Commander, I assume you have at least a long education in the history of combat and legends and such.
I mean, yeah. I try to remember that stuff. Some of it's useful. The stories are good. I tend to do more, logistics and such these days. It's been a while since education. Never stop learning. It'll make your brain go blunt.
Yeah, I'm thinking about legends. When we were fighting Mirek, I saw you were given a Dragon Slayer sword? Or something akin to that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know of other items like that? Mythic weapons?
Let me think.
Not ones we have here, but just legends in general.
Yeah. Famous weapons. Well, there's Heart Cutter, but that one's currently occupied.
Occupied?
Yeah, it's the one that, one of the two that, well, it's called that because it was used to slay Arakura. So, yeah, that one's kind of occupied.
Titanic sized.
Yeah. Evil in the hands of, the infernal of tyranny and domination and such.
Yeah, considerable.
Maybe not useful. Maybe not what you were really trying to think about, huh?
Be more specific. I was wondering if there were any legendary weapons from history that were taken from Infernals and used by heroes.
Yeah, that doesn't tend to work out super well most of the time. Depending on how they made it.
Jack.
Like, I guess evil is an ingredient that they can put into it or not put into it. Like, sometimes it's just a sword that's a really nice sword. Maybe it's got some spells on it. Sometimes they put it on top of an altar and then sacrifice 100 people and bind their power to the sword and do it that way, and those tend to be angrier swords. The mockers like to use sickles. Most of those aren't necessarily enchanted. The herald has his fancy scepter. That's more of a magic weapon than anything else. Let's see, Mirror Keeper. They got those blades made out of mirror stuff that are way, way, way too sharp. Way too sharp.
I think we found that out the hard way previously.
I don't think those are evil, though. They're just, really, really sharp. What else? The ruin that walks. Sometimes. And I think it works like this for the princes of Terranot, way up north. Sometimes, the strongest weapons were never supposed to be enchanted. If you perform, there are a lot of stories about heroes and villains who do something so incredible with a weapon that it awakens. Like, they'll kill a dragon and now it wasn't magic before, but now it's magic. Or the warrior is just so powerful that some of their power stays in the sword. And then over time, they can even get stronger. Another champion wields it, and another champion wields it, and another champion wields it. Most of the infernal allied ones usually become that because they're used to kill a lot of people or torture a lot of people. So, those are the angry ones.
Yeah.
But if it's specific,
goes down.
I mean, this is kind of more of an artificer question than anything else.
Yeah, I just figured you might have an academic interest in the stories.
I have an interest in the stories. I don't know if it's academic. That's the nice thing about this job. There's a lot of paperwork to do, but not nearly as much homework.
Yeah, sorry to keep setting it for you.
There. It's fine.
God.
I'll just hit you with a stick, and then back to it. And is training with the greatsword your primary thing for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, Athalor's kind of working out his internal trauma with external exercise.
Roll 2 athletics checks for me.
Cool. 1. 8. 2. 1. Oh, it is not going great. Bro is distracted.
The trauma. You pull a muscle.
Nothing permanent, just extremely painful. Chad will give you an ice pack and send you to the apothecary.
I think I'm getting worse.
You know, I should add a like a physical therapist, a Minotaur physical therapist called the Crusher.
The Crusher. Vertebrae fear him.
Exactly. Like he will bring them into line whether they feel like it or not. All right, so he sends you to go get crushed.
Crushing time.
Garnet, are
-4
you
max HP?
Are you going to focus primarily on the void sphere or void basics? What do you want to work on?
Oh yeah, void sphere.
Okay.
Actual sphere.
Last time, in the middle of all the resurrection stuff going on, somebody played a card. I think they played the Mask, and one of the effects of that is a new void spell is discovered. So I'd like you to, between episodes, or now if somebody else is taking their turn, go to that void either Roll20 has void spells in it, or that supplement that I sent you has void spells in it, and you can pick one of up to 2nd level.
Yay! Thanks,
add that to your
Chad.
spells node. All right. Is everybody good with me advancing the clock, the calendar, to the month of Emberheart, the 5th month of the year?
Well, as long as we can time rewind these notes, then that is totally okay.
Drop another one. Drop another one.
Oh, sure. Because I'm basically planning to do this every day during this time, at the same time each day. And if Elnell runs into him, that's fine. There's no attempts to make that happen specifically, but yeah. This is the next one. Would Mason be able to write that one?
Yes.
All right. And so it continues.
All right.
What's the house where Christ is at the moment?
Is it the Mist? Mist Tower?
Mist Tower.
Mist Tower. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. I remember being there and it reminded me of the Moon/Rialta. Ethel's cooking a theory.
Do you want to spend some time there?
Maybe, yeah.
All right. Yeah. The Mist Tower was built by actually a historical figure, the Magician of the Mists. Her name is lost to history deliberately on her part. But she was an adventuring companion of Nestor the Pious, who was in some ways the founder of, well, he wrote the holy scriptures of Bronthon Zalarianism. Like, he wrote down everything that Calor said. He's not the prophet, but in a lot of ways, he's the one who set down the Calorian rite. The two of them went adventuring together. Her name is lost to time, but Crowan, she had a pseudo-dragon. Its name was Sky Sword.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It had no magical abilities. I do believe it loved snacks, though. There's not a whole lot of details on that.
There's a theme here.
So it is very peaceful. It is very, the stairs and stuff are made of solidified mist that has been enchanted into that form. It's floating above this pool of water. It's not explicitly Rialtan, but it definitely has a Rialtan vibe to it. Is there something specific that you're cooking on that you want to work on, or are you still just cooking?
Athelor's thinking of the best potential places for a purification ritual. I was thinking a skylight under a full moon.
Okay. I see what you're talking about. Roll an Arcana check for me.
Let's go for an Arcana. Let's go with a 10.
Okay.
That's 10. I'll do my guidance as well. Why not? Come on. Never mind. 19.
All right. While I'm looking this up, Crowan, go ahead and drop another one.
Alrighty.
Yeah, bars.
This is where they start to get maybe sus, and maybe I can't write them. But we'll try.
I'd like to imagine the paper just kind of crumbles underneath them as reality says absolutely not.
hand just starts stroking out because you like can't like right.
It's like, oh god, please no.
It's like a
just
second
disappears.
person's logged into your Discord account, deleting what you're typing. And just typing it. Huh?
Your
logged
NSA
in?
agent has assumed direct control. No, you can still get away with this too.
Okay, but
There's enough different interpretations of this. Like, yeah, it's definitely more sus, but you know, it's poetry. It's still variable.
We're just being
That's what we
wanky
like to
about
hear.
it, you know?
So, Athalor, you're doing research into a purification ritual. You're thinking skylight, full moon. Are there any other factors that you have in mind right now?
Possibly recoding of a weapon in adamantine and christening it with the blood of Rialta.
Okay, well, the blood of Rialta is a very, very powerful reagent. You're definitely cooking on that one. One other thing you should consider is not only the phase of the moon, but the day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Rialta's day is a ways away right now. But there's a holy day every single month and between seasons as well. So there's the different sovereigns have their days, the titans have their days, the seasons have their days, the pillars have their days. So birth, life, death, and renewal, winter, spring, summer, and fall, and Erakura, Vindur, Sin, and Liban. So if you do this on one of those high holy days, magic associated with that entity is always heightened. Like Zalar didn't just do a resurrection on any day, right? Miracles happened on the day when Zalar was strongest. So that is something that you should consider.
I need to bring up the calendar. Where's the world anvil?
Oh, the world anvil calendar doesn't really work. Think of an entity. It doesn't work because of all the no month days that I have. That really weirds it out. Because like the in-between month holidays are not a part of either month, and the system does not like that. What entities would you want to? I can tell you what's coming up. That might be helpful.
I figure probably Liban, Children of Liban, maybe Erakura's day on account of her being slain by probably a Thynine sword as well in Heartseeker.
Roll a religion check for me, please.
Yep. And those of them that fall on the day of a full moon, which complicates matters. 10. Oh boy, we are rolling today.
Yes, it does. Okay. Well, let me just look for full moons first off. Oh. The holy day of Ramius, cupbearer of the gods, true-born son of Erakura, is on a full moon. It is in autumn. It is 4 months away from now. So that is one option.
Pretty good option.
So, what else do we have? No. Fool Tide. That'd be very specific kind of energy.
Yeah, I need some boggles on this.
Let's see, what else? Winter. Rialta's day is on a full moon. Who'd have thought it? It's actually surprisingly few of these that are on full moons. So let me see. I'll do one more look here. Spring. It's always the Zalar's day was on a full moon.
Yeah.
So it's Ramius, Rialta, Zalar, and if the pattern holds, it might be the Four Winds.
Do me a favor.
I mean, they kind of do. No, the Four Winds are on a new moon. Yeah. So I think that is basically going to be your options. Yeah, I think those 3 holidays are the only ones that fall on full moons.
And
Oh, there's
sometimes
the brass dragon
like
god
a
Canar.
vessel as well. There's the dragon
that?
god Canar.
Yeah, the brass dragon god.
I don't think he's got enough of a thematic interest in this.
Probably not.
Homie's leaving me on red.
So I already said full tide. Orange Day is on a waxing crescent. That's not exactly conducive to anything. Yeah, those are the only ones. So Realta would obviously be the most thematic, but it's also like 6 months from now.
Yeah.
The nearest one, the soonest, is Ramius's day.
Is Realta weakest in the new moon?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd assume so. Okay. I'll keep Ramius. Need to ask Mason if he's willing to build like a like upright vessel to house the thing.
According to old lore, because the cycle of the Pearl Moon predates the invasion of the the second invasion of the Infernals, the reason that the Pearl waxes and wanes is basically because Rialta's resting during that time. So it's not that she's weak, it's more that she's like recovering her power. The moon is a symbol, the sun is a symbol of the cycle, the moon's symbol of the cycle is its yada yada yada. Okay, does anyone else have anything this month? I have a scene that I want to do, but other than that, I want to give everyone the opportunity to go to the end of the month. Do any other scenes that you want.
I'm good.
Well, just 2 more notes, but do that whenever.
Yeah, drop it. I meant to tell you to drop it.
Oh, okay. The penultimate note. The 5th day.
Yeah, I think this is ambiguous enough.
Okay, it's legal. All right, legal move.
Yeah. I'm going to allow that.
My lord, these bars, they are legal.
Okay.
And then yeah, there's one more. Let's drop it now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. And the last final note for El now. On the 6th day.
Where did I write that down? Where did I write that down?
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah, I think you can get away with this.
All right, there we go.
I think
I've
there's
cooked.
inferences that El now can draw from this.
Yeah.
But
Whatever she gets from it, she gets from it. But
whatever she gets from it,
done
she gets
my
from it. And
efforts.
the other thing is that you have not touched upon. Yeah, you've touched upon some of the forbidden information, but you have not touched upon certain key points. None of this here says anachronism is a deliberate mechanism by the universe to protect itself from the void.
Yep, true. The goal is just to inform her that Acronis wears mask. That's kind of it.
I think you might be able to get away with that. I think you might be able to get away with that.
Clockwork mask.
Okay. A new month rises, the month of Emberheart, dedicated to the Titan Nis, the trueborn scion of Sin, patron of inner fire, self-reflection, and enlightenment. Also, one of the main patrons for the few psionics that Anakra has. As Zalar's month draws to an end, the bleak omen... Oh, excuse The bleak omen hanging over the world subsides, but the violence and riots that have broken out across all of Anakra don't go away by themselves. Many realms are currently in turmoil, groups turning on groups within their own ranks. And Tillabek grows fat from the feast, drawing strength from the discord and the chaos. To make matters worse, the war in the northern kingdoms, which has been quiet for a while, restarts as the Iron Empire once again wages wars of aggression on Mazru and Gluckmore, the priest kingdoms of the Titans Silit and Leveron. Even in Arboratum, the Clockwork Circus that your father was working for and left, there's some sort of huge breakdown during one of their performances, and it results in riots and violence as well. Time goes on, chaos goes on. Garnet, at some point during this time, after you've been going over the spheres of annihilation and the like, you'll be down in the middle of your lessons. And Elna will pause for a little bit as you're working over something and say, I think I learned something while I was gone, like you did.
Really?
Yeah. The eye of the paradox.
Oh, yeah.
That phrase, those words, they stayed with me. I don't know where they came from, but they stayed with me. Mostly there was just nothing, right? It was just everything went away, and then it started to come back, and I was in that place on that beach of marble sands, with mountains like teeth in the sky and on the ground, in a storm bigger than can be imagined on the other side. And from there, it was like I could feel the pillars like spokes in a huge wheel, turning and turning and turning. And there was something trying to hold it back, trying to stop it. But the harder that it pulled, the more it drove that cycle. I don't know. Is there something... Mirik ever talk about this?
Out of character, my reaction would be no, but you tell me if...
He might have. He might have. But it's fine. It doesn't... It's not super relevant. I know that what we've been taught after Mirik is that void is the antithesis of the cycle, and it's dangerous. And every time that we use it, we're erasing a little bit of the world that can never come back. And that's not wrong, but it's also not everything. Because if the cycle needs death in order to keep going, if things have to be broken down so they can be made into new things, then something outside of the cycle has to keep that going too. And I think it's void. That pressure of whatever Seosh became or whatever was before him, trying to halt things, trying to bring things to an end, forces things to keep moving.
That's confusing. Something that's trying to stop the cycle is the one continuing it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like how death is necessary for life, for new life. Just on a strange scale. So if void is death beyond death, non-existence, and the cycle is the true essence of existence, then they work like life and death, but for each other. Like they're part of something even larger than that. It all made sense when I could see it. I guess my point is that maybe it's not as wrong to be double dipping, to be wielding both. I'm sure Gelgeist doesn't see it that way, but I think that even the unnatural void has a natural place. And I think that if we can understand that balance, then we'll be better at this and we'll know things that Mirik doesn't understand.
I'll make sure to tell the sage that next time she lectures me. And not that I really took her super seriously, because all these holes in the universe yet to really be perceived, despite how long void magic has been around. And
Well, Garnet, to be fair, the universe is really, really big.
okay, but I feel like we would have felt the consequences of void magic by now with how much destruction there's been. Plus, if the Infernals take over the world, it's not gonna matter how many holes are in it. So, I think we do what we can with what we got.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think what all this means is that we have more to learn about Shadow than we thought. Because
That's what I
where
thought.
the two meet.
I mean, that's what I sort of thought of with Mirik when I trained with him, is that all my, well, sort of the beginning teachings that I had in Brontha would teach me about Shadow, and then now that I'm studying Void, I could kind of tie it all together, but then Void has so much to know, and there's so much unknown that I can't even begin to unpack everything. So, I think that's why I've loved Void magic so much. It's so mysterious and unstudied and untested.
Yeah. We'll keep testing it. Well, the Eye of the Paradox is the place where non-existence and existence actually need each other. There's only so much I can do.
Get groomed.
Get
groomed, idiot.
I think I'm having a second-hand allergic reaction to that. So
I'm sucking the
close.
lips so I don't end up, swapping spit.
Get out with your cat.
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
You look like the kind of guy who kisses their cat.
On the mouth.
If you don't kiss your cat on top of their little head, what is the point of you?
Yeah.
True. You aren't catting hard enough.
Mm-hmm. Cat harder. All right. Aside from Elnell waxing philosophical, oh my god.
Holy.
Oh my god.
Double kill.
Multiplying.
Holy flank build goes crazy.
I'm matching
So,
Sven and Mason right now. It's hardcore making out.
I'm gonna need a con save. You've been with the cats, haven't you?
Anyways, so all that waxing philosophical aside, the Academy has enough mana to cast some big boy divinations.
Oh boy.
One of those can help to find the missing halflings. So I'm going to go ahead and set aside 3 mana for that.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else, wasn't there? Oh, Igor. That's right.
Yes, about Igor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they will cast Epic Lore on that.
Hell yeah. Epic lore.
The severed hand now wears an iron gauntlet. But order can only hold back so much chaos before it cracks.
Looking for Ioth Ghost now. For now.
Or somewhere in the Iron Empire. We
They
will.
are starting a new war to the north.
It's true. It's true.
I wasn't done.
Give me the epic lore. Give me the epic lore. I want to turn to do divination.
They are going to they're going to talk to Bothotlo and ask them to investigate further. They're going to have they're going to ask Bothotlo to spy on. Oh, please be careful. Please be careful. Child.
Hold the coffee.
Oh my goodness. What are the odds we can convince Ms. Gnomes to let the next litter be named after the dragon tribes?
Post it in chat. We'll see if we can sell her on it. All right. So having Epic Lord that, they're going to ask. So Igor is back from the dead. He was dead. He was revived. He's got to be working for the Iron Empire somewhere. And wherever he is, order can only mask so much chaos. Now, that means there's going to be signs of whoever he's working for. There's going to be signs of disorder. Also, if you'll recall, your Shadow Stalker moved to the southeast when Seer asked it to find Igor. It started traveling to the southeast.
Oh, towards the Doom Riders, and they have the Weeping Plague.
Be.
Pavar, I'm so fucking dead.
Forge.
Unfortunately, you win some, you lose some.
Should have said happy birthday to me.
Rip Bozo.
Should have come to my birthday.
You fucking idiot. I'm going to give you 2 more weeks. If you've been sitting on anything that you've wanted to happen till then, go ahead and stop sitting on it. Otherwise, give me your next 2 weeks of work.
Same shit for me.
Same shit, new day. Okay. Roll an Arcana check. 2 Arcana checks for me with advantage, please, Garnet.
Bam. Oh. Bam.
20.
Wow, not my best
And
work.
a 16. Yeah, you rolled like ass.
Welcome to the club, gamer.
Okay. Yeah, decent study. You still get that bonus void spell.
Yep.
Permanently creating a sphere of annihilation is not easy to do, even though you have done it before, and you were in like 1st grade when you did it. The fact that you created it is fascinating. The fact that it stabilized is wild. Because the thing about a sphere of annihilation is that it doesn't. If it was unbounded, it would just suck in all the air around it, and then it would just keep on like pulling and pulling and pulling the air. But when it floats midair, it doesn't pull all the oxygen out of the room. So it's surrounded by a layer of stabilization.
We don't have any void spheres anymore, right?
I don't think you have any. Yeah, the big one blew up, and I don't remember what happened to the other one.
We did recover the other one, no?
Yeah, you recovered it. I'll have to look it up. Where is the void sphere? Adding that to my notes. Where is the void sphere? So what your research is showing is that a void sphere is built on similar principles to the gyre and Onderud. It's almost a pocket dimension, but not quite. Because just like a pocket dimension is, okay, there's space, and then space is weird in this one area or goes to an alternate place. There's a thin layer around the sphere of annihilation that functions the same way. It's not quite an extra-dimensional space, and it's not quite a demi-plane, but it is a place that is not part of the prime material plane, and therefore it doesn't touch anything. And in order to create it, you'd need to use similar magic to spinning up a new demi-plane or something like that. And you'd have to anchor it very carefully around that. Once it's properly wrapped, it's like tying a knot. It should stay that way. It doesn't need to be maintained or anything. Like once it's folded in that direction, supernatural forces keep it the strands of space and time, if you will, pulled taut. So once it's in place, it's stable. It can last for thousands of years. And there are very few things that can bust it. But that is why when you try to move a sphere of annihilation through a portal or a gate, there is a chance that it will explode. Because it is technically a pocket border dimension.
I'm guessing if, like, let's pretend like we have a sphere. If we were to try and, I don't know, do like a bit of mitosis, try to split it in half, is that like dividing by 0 where I'd just nuke the fucking place? Or
Nobody's ever done that before. The
we could just create
tricky
spheres.
thing is you should probably get Athalor for this, because his planar meta geometry is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to pull him in?
Well, once we figure out if we have a sphere, then yeah, for sure. And if we don't, then chalk it.
Then we're not going to bother him. All right, that's fair. Based on what you know right now, theoretically only, it would not be possible to completely split a sphere into 2 parts, because if you think of this sphere as like there's a knot tied around this bag that holds it, if you tried to split it in 2, you would cut the bag and it would leak. There might be some way you can twist it so that now you have 2 of them, but they're still connected to each other by the remainder of that sort of plastic or whatever. So this requires
So not 2 spheres, a sphere in 2 places.
Kind of, yeah. 2 halves of one, but they're still connected. Balls.
The void testes.
Where are my orbs?
I mean, that would make the most sense if it acted like a demi-plane. If it simulated both an entrance and an exit, it could theoretically exist in 2 places, rather than being 2 separate entities.
Yeah. A Gazinta and a Gazauta. Athalor, how are you spending these next 2 weeks?
When he's physically exhausted after some training, Athalor is going to have a little look at previous purification rituals, likely Kalor's emergence. See if there's any like legend lore about the genesis of is it Lightbringer, the mace?
Pyrelighter.
Pyrelighter.
There's Pyrelighter and there's a few others. Yeah. Do you want to cast legend lore? I think that spell costs money.
No. Just Athalor's looking mostly for like the kind of the vibe of the legends, you know.
Am I gonna have to ask you to roll for vibes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like weirdly, these are probably like the first year books. You know, I'm looking at like the Bible.
Yeah. There's got to be a copy of the Benediction of Kalor running around here somewhere. Ruby has one. Cyrus has one. The library has multiple. Okay, so the relics. He has the Pyrelighter, the Staff of the Pious, and the Benediction of Kalor. Pyrelighter is the incense burner, the censer, that Kalor had with him when he emerged from the desert. As far as anyone can tell, Kalor kind of came out of nowhere. Like, people really do not know much about him before he emerged from the desert and saved the pre-Bronthans from the Raveners. And when he arrived, he had the censer with him already. It's made of gold. It's got fire and wing designs on it. You throw any incense in there and the smoke will consecrate things. It's very, very powerful. It absolutely has purifying properties. It's kind of like the lantern in some way, that the smoke creates this holy barrier that fiends and undead dare not touch or risk obliteration. I don't know if I detailed all of its powers because it is a relic and those are, kind of busted.
Yeah,
I did do it. I did list out his powers. Roll a religion check for me.
Oh boy. Let me guidance myself as I do a little reading on the old propaganda scriptures. Oh, a nat 20.
Woo! Ooh.
Okay.
And why not?
So-
Let's see if we can hit that 25.
You can. All right. So it has this holy aura that just obliterates fiends nearby. They basically burn in the light of the sun. It also reveals their presence if they're disguised in any way. If the fire inside of it is extinguished, it can be used to call upon Zalar to send down a servitor and aid, a temporary summoning. Not like summoning a phoenix that stays permanent on the battlefield or in the world until it's gone, but like a send something to help us right now, we're going to die summoning. The smoke can also be used for divination, getting signs and communications from Zalar indirectly, because most people can't just have a little conversation with him. And when performed with the proper rites, it can cast protection, temporary hit points, and such over large numbers of people. So it definitely has purifying properties. Did I? No, I did not put the Staff of the Pious on here. And I did not put the Benediction of Calor. The Staff of the Pious was not wielded by Calor. It was wielded by Nestor, called the Pious. It is a simple wooden staff that has since been like coated and banded with gold and rubies and garnets and such. In Nestor's life, it was like the first thing that he stuck a holy symbol on, basically. Very, very simple. Early adventuring gear. It didn't sort of take on these mythical religious properties until after his death, where it became a venerated relic. It also has the power to drive out the undead and fiends, especially. So if Pothinus is walking around with both of these, there will be no infernal entities anywhere near him. It can also call down rays of sunlight and a few other offensive things. If Pyre Lighter is more of a defensive holy thing, the Staff of the Pious is an offensive holy thing, plus protection by holding up the holy symbol.
And
As for the
Nestor's traveling companion was the one who built the Mist Tower.
Yes, one of them. There were a few of them, but I think the Magician of Mist is the only one who, as a spellcaster, built a home on the ring. The rest of them sort of, well, your mom works in the place that Nestor built, Garnet, the area of the Phoenix Knights. He founded the Order of the Phoenix Knights. So that place where their headquarters is, that's his castle. He built that before Bronthe existed. The rest of them were of a less mystical inclination. They went on to have fantastic adventures and cook delicious food and a variety of things, but they didn't leave behind items with this type of significance. Nestor's really the only one who had that. And then the Benediction of Calor is the original book that Nestor wrote. All of Calor's like decrees and what happened and how they were saved and the prayers people still say to this day, etc. It doesn't have a lot of direct powers in it that are associated with it. It's more like an extremely powerful focus for divine magic. So yeah, if you're casting a divine spell, you need a holy symbol. If that's the holy symbol you're using, it's juiced up. So that is what you have learned about those relics. That was one thing. Is there like a second avenue of research that you're focusing on aside from your exercise and training?
Yeah, I thought I was just looking into purification in general, and that's very similar to the Sage's Lantern, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, which is Realta's light.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So technically, if you put that sword with Pyre Lighter on one side and the Light of Truth on the other side, that would be a very powerful celestial double dose.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. I'm reasonably confident you could get those people wielding those artifacts to cooperate for this as well. Oh, and when you asked Chad about legendary weapons, my brain kind of drew a blank.
That's all
I
right.
feel like the Dungeon Master's forgetting some. So,
just wondering if there were any that were like the fanboys would go for, you know?
Right.
Like maybe a medieval fanboy and I would be like, oh, Excalibur, etc.
The thing about this era right now that you're living in is this is the era when Excalibur.
We're in Excalibur.
now is the time of heroes. You know, the things that you do are going to leave behind the legends for, you know, Brennan's sideshow 500 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I thought it was definitely going down the maybe less time sensitive route of the lantern and the Bronthan relics. If Bronthan were down for it, creating like a double dose of celestial cleansing.
Moon and sun. Idiot. Get shown on, idiot. Mason, having dropped all of these clues and not got a direct response from El now, not yet. How do you spend the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, so I guess we'll do like another week of collecting food for Nexi, and then make like a 3 weeks of food feast for Nexi, and make a little like absorbent material, little target dummy, and try to communicate the idea of like, okay, big feast for you. Let's practice. You staying this target.
All right. See, originally, Nexi was just gonna like eat all this food and then be overfed and just lie there as a blob.
The fat dragon from a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Themberchild, I think was his name. Yeah. But that's something that Nexi can definitely do. So you can collect 2 doses of pseudo dragon venom. Well, let's make it 3.
All right. 3 doses. All right.
Oops.
And then we'll give a little sending to Seer. To say, checking in, I have pseudo dragon venom. Wondering on status of mask info and a painting.
The painting is ready, and he will have that shipped over to you. And I don't remember all the details, so you go ahead and describe what it depicts, because you would have given the artist brief.
Oh, yeah. I think. Wait, I actually wrote it down somewhere. Oh, it depicts like Garnet in kind of like a action sequence, like fighting infernal forces, and she has on this like royal Bronthan armor, like sword in hand, but it's like casting magic as well with it, so it should look like pretty badass. Hopefully,
it's like that one picture of the Emperor from 40K. Like, all that huge armor, massive halo.
Yep. And would deliver that to Garnet at some point during this 2 weeks. Just show up, knock on door. Hi.
Hello.
It's like looking this like massive fucking painting with them.
Holy shit!
It's
What
like
is that?
this late birthday present. It's you. Here you go. And like turns it so that she can see it.
What, you know how to paint?
Oh, got it commissioned, right? But,
Oh my god, this is so cool.
yeah, glad you like
He's
it.
finding a wall to put this on and starts hammering and I'm
What's not putting
probably
it up,
not. Let's see, do I know how to hammer and stabilize? Okay, I do know how to stabilize a frame for some reason.
It's hung perfectly.
Mace will help out, try to keep it level
Could
while
not be
she
me. Could not be me.
Is it vain for me to have a painting of myself in my own room?
Yes.
A little bit, but vanity isn't always a bad thing, so.
Okay. Thank you. It just hugs you tightly. This is awesome.
All right. Yep, no problem. Just takes off. And does he respond about any of the information on mask wielders that he's found out yet?
Yes. I'm just trying to see exactly what he responds about. Which of them would be active in this area? Not that they have to be active in this exact area, but
Sure.
Where there are active
If it's-
sources.
If it's more words than sending to, makes me totally fine to meet
He'll
up,
send you a
go to
letter,
Bronte
though.
real
No,
quick.
he'll
Oh, okay, a
send you
letter,
a
sure. Send some information in a letter. Oh, jeez.
Coded letter, obviously.
Of course.
With a cipher stapled to it.
So these mask wielders, they have appeared throughout history, at least for the last 1,000 years, maybe more. The dawn ended 1,864 years ago. The world is fairly young. The only reason that we have advanced to the level we have now is because of the children of Luminius and direct intervention by gods and genies and such to uplift the newborn mortal species. So the oldest reference that he could find went back 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
And it's just an oblique reference. I gotta check my timeline real quick. Make sure that I'm not screwing my own lore.
And also, I'd wonder if he had found any instances of currently active mask wielders.
All right, let's see. The founding of Irelek, founding of Angren. We have the Driasir, the gathering of the dragon gods. We have the Call of Ioth, when he opened the academy, basically. The Dance of the Seasons, which is when the Huldra were founded. Okay. So this would have happened the 1800s, before the Autumn Wars, but after the founding of the Connacht Vale of the Huldra.
And this pertains to the first recorded stuff on mask wielders? Okay.
Yes. There were reports of a thing, a bodiless blob that dwelt in the wastelands. And those wastelands would be where it would be a magically disrupted sort of place. Rana, the jungles of Rana, which is not, relatively speaking, not too far from Arix. The Ronans, this is before they had united with the mystics of Pola to sort of find their purpose in life. They had stories of this shapeless thing that crawled through the night, and they went hunting for it. And light passed through it, so it was difficult to see. And its touch dissolved things. And it knew magic. It wielded power over them, over the elements. So when they tried to approach it, it always escaped. When they finally caught it, it pulled from within itself a smooth plate. Pulled it from inside of itself and then put it on the outside of itself. And suddenly it grew a shell all around it. And it no longer glowed amorphously. It now stood with hands and legs all completely encased by this armor. They describe the armor as almost being like tree bark, but dark and leathery. The word they don't use is rubbery, because that word doesn't exist. When they tried to attack it, this armor didn't even stop blades. The blades just sort of sank in and then bounced off. It became much, much faster when it did this, and it wielded claws of darkness that cut through the air itself. It escaped into the jungle and was never seen again. There are also reports of Irelek years ago having a run-in with a person who wore a mask like this and wielded a scythe. And when they wore the mask, the scythe was surrounded by crackling green power, and everything that it touched crumbled into dust. They did manage to kill this person, but the mask itself also crumbled into dust upon his defeat. There are some other accounts from across the world. They are very, very rare. and they never say anything about these people working together or knowing each other. They pop up in completely different places every single time. In the lands to the south of Kotka's homeland, in the lands of Kast, before it even became that, there was one who had a blood red mask, and when they put it on, their entire body, it dripped blood that covered their entire body. And they had the ability to pull the blood out of other people's bodies from a distance.
Ooh.
Each of these descriptions is completely different, and they're like from all these different places, and there's probably not more than 20 such accounts over the last 1,000 years.
Damn.
There's only one other thing, which was from a where would they be from? A maniac in the Boomi Empire, part of the South, who wrote about being haunted and hunted by an empty voice, the empty voice, the empty voice. And a masked assailant with a featureless mask and wearing armor that covered their entire body in segments and stuff. So forging that does not really exist, was seen exiting their home, and that person was never seen again.
All right.
As for active mask wielders, this is actually some of the most activity that there's been in a long time. There are multiple recent eyewitness accounts of 2 active mask wielders. Unfortunately, they're Garnet and hell no.
No other ones. Okay, that's fair.
But keep in mind, these accounts are from across even the Western continent. And Seer doesn't have a lot of resources there because it rarely pertains to national business.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Most of his accounts are from the East. One thing I will say, these sightings predate the death of Arakura and the resurgence of the Infernals.
All right, Mason will, over dinner sometime, share all this information with the party. Much mask lore. Here you go, like writes it all. I mean, it's already in the letter, I guess, but just like copies it all down, gives a copy of the letter to Garnet. Yeah. It's like, here you go. Also, happy belated birthday. A lot of info, a lot of mask stuff.
Oh god. More reading.
Yeah.
Do you think mask wielders were always affiliated with the Void? Do you reckon there were, like, other masks of power created from other sources?
Yeah, it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg, the mask or the void, you know?
The Void came first.
He said.
I can tell you that much. Because the reason the world before Anakra, of which very little is known, but the 7 dragons in the Silent City are the 7 dragons of the world before. The Silent City is considered to be an artifact of or connected to the world before. The world before collapsed and was destroyed by its own gods because it was threatened by Void. And by blowing it up so it could restart, it could be reborn, they saved it from Void. Void is basically timeless and infinite.
Question, Gnomes. Were there 20, not that I need all of them, but were there 20 accounts that Seer had detailed in the letter? With all of these accounts and the other ones, did they all seem like they depicted someone that was like fairly like unique in terms of their relationship to like power or magic or masks or something?
Yes. These masks have always been fairly different from each other. There are sometimes some themes, like a thorn mask that controls plants and causes thorns to burst out of them, along with some other sort of like plant-connected ones that pop up. But no 2 are exactly the same. It does not sound like any of them get handed down or passed down to anybody.
Yeah, I guess Interesting. I guess then we'll say over dinner. It kind of seems like when these masks are created, they kind of go along to a theme of what's, I don't know, relevant to the mask wielder's life or just something, but they're very, very specific to them. And if they die, or if they crumble when the people die, I guess it's linked to them in, well, more ways than just them holding it, possessing it.
There's only one account of it crumbling, by the way. Just that one.
Oh, just, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Just one account of it crumbling, actually. Not all of them.
Oh, good.
But none of the other accounts include death of the mask wielder. Carry on.
I wouldn't want my mask to be, taken by anyone else, so it'd be nice if it crumbled.
Yeah.
Well, when do we know if any of these mask wielders who didn't have their masks crumble were famous? Maybe they'd have tombs?
Well, a lot of the sightings that Seer wrote down were just like, hey, they were seen once and like never again kind of thing.
The other thing about it is that many of them were only seen with the mask and the armor that the mask grants on. Meaning that
their identities were not discernible.
Their identities were not disclosed. They could have been active with their main identities and not connected.
Yeah, hard to tell.
True. I'd imagine that one that was in the forest with the leathery skin as well probably would have been in a barrow, and barrows freak me out.
Yeah, maybe. All of these happening pre-Ericura death is interesting too. More sightings of them before the more infernal presence was around.
Guess. It seems significant, but I'm not sure how.
I don't know either.
I can tell you that Void is not inherently associated with or connected to Infernals. While you have seen evidence of Void wielders and Infernal aligned powers working together, it's not the same energy, not the same traditions, not the same goals. You also know the Infernals were in Anakra because they got trapped. When the dawn ended, they were trapped in there. So they were still hiding, and there were still fiends and such before the death of Ericura. That's just kind of when things really kicked off.
And they got more powerful, bold, active.
Exactly.
Or the Infernals, they seem to run on motivations of greed. If what we know of the world before is true, the gods that we had, or perhaps still have, destroyed the entirety of their existence to avoid its coming to void so that it could start again. Maybe the mask wielders thought that with the Infernals in a position of power in the world, that their schemes towards presumably ending the cycle would be in more danger from those who wish to maintain their dominance over this world.
I guess the Infernals want that precisely, right? So they would be at odds. Want to protect themselves, I guess, stay in the shadows, as it were.
It's a classic case of, you can't blow up the world, all my stuff is there.
My stuff is there.
Yep. Well, information. Not sure how it's relevant, but...
Which mask are you, Garnet? Are you the Garnet mask?
Oh, have you named yours yet?
I think I'm Mask of the Phoenix.
Ooh. That's, yeah, relevant, unique. It's the best.
What's L now?
Shadow.
That one. Mask of Shadow.
Oh, no, that was Myrix. Shit, that was Myrix.
Oh, yeah, I don't see her mask listed.
Yeah, I don't think it's listed right now. Hers is, it's made of sky steel.
Ooh.
It's the Blackwing mask.
Ooh, cool.
Oh, that's badass. Okay. Mantra, if you go off the deep end and make a mask, let it be the golden mask. If it's the mirror mask, we're going to have to throw you into a sphere.
I would not blame you. In fact, you should if that happens. So.
Garnet is the only one here who has actually made a mask, and it does involve the use of Void. It is a Void artifact.
I don't think it's something I'll be dabbling with.
Yeah,
Leave that to Garnet.
I don't think we really could, but I'm sure someone did a gold mask previously anyway. Seems like a fairly, common.
Seems a bit
Yeah.
bougie.
Yeah.
Just bougie, not really
like,
unique. It's just not, not my
Given
thing.
how he looked, I'm surprised that Indrasaka didn't have a golden mask. Definitely doesn't feel like a bones kind of guy. He was very bougie.
I guess he lives in that spot where there's a bunch of necromantic activity.
He does live in the city of Living Bone, so relevant.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you plan on collecting all their masks, Garnet?
Like Pokeballs or other Anakra-related Pokemon brand?
I meant more in terms
like
of containing
badges.
their power. Do you
No, I
find
think
threatening?
we could collaborate. I think we could make our own little Void army and show everyone we're not the bad guys. The Void isn't just dark magic. I feel it's got a lot of misconception.
Okay.
But they're probably crazier than I am, so I don't know how that'll go.
I mean, I hope you're right. Maybe I'm just a slave to the stereotypes. It does feel like the end goal of that void god creature seems a little bit less charitable. While I know you're not a distinct servant of that will, the others are a maybe.
My focus is the academy, and can either join us or be against us.
There's no one to us yet. Hopefully the others will be on board.
For our next adventure, as we leave our heroes halfway through the following month, through the month of Emberheart, I'll briefly say, Athalor, that a Ravener horde gathered and emerged in the mountains near Onderud, but it never got big enough to pose a real threat, and the Onderudi army crushed them.
Woo! Oh yeah.
Go us.
So, just a brief update, not something you need to get out of bed for. For our next adventure, it may be time to pay Lamriel a visit and start meddling in his affairs and see if Hatterai can be talked around. It may be time to go looking for Karnscare in the jungles of Umbernex, or it may be time to go looking for the Tomb of the Empty Voice. Any of those sound like fun. And so, unless any of you have anything else, we'll go ahead and leave our adventure here for the night and see you next time on Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy.